What is the most NSFW thing you have witnessed at a party? I was at a Halloween party in the last year of high school, where two friends of mine had a threesome with a girl in the bathtub while one other girl watched. That's how my friend lost his virginity. Best 37 seconds of his life. Ha. Halloween night. After drunken truth or dare, I walked in on my SO's brother and cousin going to town on each other. A while back I was too young to be at a party and this girl ran out of one of the kitchen butt naked, started twerking on the wall. Her boyfriend rushed into the room, literally picked up H's girlfriend and started to carry her to his car. The whole time they were walking to the car she kept yelling about how she couldn't wait for the dick tonight. I was 14 visiting my 19 years old cousin. I wasn't ready. Seen two blokes trying to get a girl into bed, not at the same time. The one who actually did came back after and threw the used condom in the other bloke's face and says, "Smell what, you could have one." Goddamn ruthless. Dude ran to the bathroom, yelled "I got a shit," then pulled his pants down, sat his ass on the toilet, and puked on the floor in front of him. Realizing his mistake, he stood up, faced the toilet to puke, and shat on the floor behind him. Walked in on my best friend's little sister sucking two guys' dicks at one time. I quietly exited and never spoke a word. I went to a party right out of high school and was drinking with some friends. There was a girl that got super f***ed up but was somehow still functioning, and there were some dudes inevitably trying to hit on her. After a few hours, I'm fairly drunk and end up getting tired, so I figure I'm about to pass out on the couch until drunk girl sits next to me. She tells me shush is horny and that we should f***. I'm like, yeah, okay, I've got a condom, sure. 5 minutes of fooling around and she stops me and tells me that in order to f*** her, I have to tell her that I love her. I sat there for a moment and responded, "But I don't love you." This apparently broke her heart because she ran off to the other room and I was just kinda left there stupefied. A minute later I hear people yelling and freaking out. I walk in the kitchen and lo and behold, drunk girl is face down in the floor. Dress up. No panties, with liquid shit erupting out her ass like some kind of white trash Krakatoa. The smell was foul, and I didn't stick around for the cleanup. I went to my car and passed out until about 7 a.m. and went home. At a party in a huge house on the lake that had a second living room upstairs. Walking up the stairs I can hear all this commotion going on. As I enter the room there is this guy smashing a chick on the couch. Doggy style, right there in front of everyone. He was getting high fives from other guys and people were just standing around watching and cheering. Well, a few years later, I get married and at Thanksgiving dinner with my in-laws when my brother-in-law brings his new girlfriend to meet the family. You guessed it, it was her. Same girl that was getting smashed on the couch. Well, he ended up getting married to this girl and now every time I see them at a family get-together all I can see is the image from that night at the lake. I once saw a guy shit his pants and then chuck them out the window. I've been to a couple of parties where a few people decided it would be a good idea to throw decorum to the wind and start in the backyard. Most of us gathered round to watch, but on one occasion, a few others joined in. Dothraki wedding. Friend hired a prostitute for his B-day party and she proceeded to bang any guy who wanted it. None of them even knew. They all thought she was some chick who was visiting from Georgia. They still tell the story like she wasn't a prostitute. Some dude passed out in the corner of this apartment party and there was a dude crouched over him trying his hardest to shit on his head. He couldn't do it so nothing happened, but I wondered if I should have told the passed out guy what he tried to do. But then again, if someone tried to shit on my head when I was passed out I wouldn't want to know about it. Final year of high school. At a party where everyone was really wasted. Like, the stupid drunk you got before you understood limits. One girl couldn't handle it anymore, so she pulled her jeans down and started masturbating on the couch in front of everyone. Was dark and I don't know if everyone really noticed. Wasn't like those videos where everyone stands around cheering but then the dad who owned the place walked in and it got kind of awkward. Good party. We were throwing a house party for one of our roommates that was turning 21. Said birthday boy was wasted fairly early in the night and was placed in the bathtub with the curtain drawn. Their logic was that he could sleep and if he threw up he'd be in the tub. A couple hours later this girl shows up. She was a friend of a friend. 18, maybe 5 foot tall super white girl who just got off her shift at Twin Peaks. As the mostly sober host, I welcomed her and went outside to have a cigarette. Maybe 15 minutes later I return inside to find the tiny white girl on the floor puking into a trash can. Well, that escalated quickly, but not shocking considering her size. The start of the weirdness was that she was conversing with my friend Daniel, in fluent Spanish. Oh, okay, so she speaks Spanish. A little surprising, but whatever. So between heaves Daniel and I help her to the bathroom to pray to the porcelain god. She wants to shut the bathroom door. I say sure, but not to lock the door so we can get in there if she passes out to make sure she doesn't, die. Of course. As soon as she goes in she locks the door. What we had forgotten was that birthday boy was asleep in the tub. He was awoken by what he described as the worst smelling shit he had ever smelled in his life. Not wanting to let this random girl know he was hiding in the bathtub, he did his best to keep quiet through the gagging. Tiny girl had diarrhea so rank that she decided that she was too embarrassed to face the party. Her solution: climb out the tiny bathroom window. When we got the door unlocked and went in we found her halfway out the window, her shit-covered thong on the floor, and birthday boy pale and sweating in the tub after his unwanted birthday surprise. She slept on her side on the couch with a female friend to watch over her. The next morning she claimed to not remember a thing and swears she doesn't know a word of Spanish. Had an outside party at an old house of mine where a rando passed out on his side in the middle of the driveway. The 8 or so friends he'd come with all let him sleep and the party continued around him. Eventually someone yells my name and points at the passed out fella who's managed to get his dick out and start peeing while still on his side. At this point everyone outside has stopped what they were doing to gasp at this turn of events. After a while he begins to slowly lean backwards and the arc of piss gradually goes higher and higher into the air. Finally he makes it all the way onto his back and the angle of his pecker is just right so that the remaining piss hits him right between the eyes. Half the party was disgusted and unimpressed, but the rest had plenty to bond over for the rest of the night. Happened at my house. Girl came over, got way too drunk, took off all her clothes and started masturbating on my stairs and then on the couch and then back on my stairs. Then she fell down said stairs. We tried putting her to bed before all this went dough, but she kept coming back out, each time with less and less clothes on. Eventually we all just kinda ignored her and let her do her thing. Grandma, I know you're excited to be back on the market, but please try to behave yourself at Grandpa's wake. Quote. Walked in on a girl taking a dump on a guy. Some chick was having a house party while her parents were out of town and she was in her teens. Invited like half the school. She was a typical stuck-up bitch that didn't really have real friends, just a bunch of fake ones. Anyways, this one guy is having a good time being reasonable and she doesn't like him, so she has a bunch of people just starting to treat him like shit. He then gets told to leave and he's like, I gotta use the bathroom first. And there is currently all bathrooms occupied, so she tells him to leave, he can't use the washroom. The dude then said, oh, there's a urinal here, and proceeds to punch a hole in the wall and pisses in it. Partying in the barracks. My room had all the beer in the fridge. I was going down on this girl, when I felt a hand on my left shoulder. Briefly paused to look up. When my buddy says, you're doing a great job. I just needed to grab a beer. I went right back to what I was doing. Our CEO had a Super Bowl party at his new giant house for all of the company employees. There was probably 30 to 40 people there. As the night goes on, everyone is pretty drunk and he's that type of guy who loves to party and is handing out shots all night. Then one of the new guys we just hired can't hold it anymore and pukes on the back patio. Crowd freaks out and the CEO walks up and tells him if he will eat it off the ground, he will pay him $100. Puking guy looks at his disappointing look on his wife's, and then turns and says he'll do it for $1,000. CEO busts out $1,000 cash. I guess he just walks around with it. A spoon appears out of nowhere and he proceeded to eat it off the ground. Crowd freaks out. CEO tells him he would have paid him $10,000. Worst part is, Monday morning the CEO fired him saying we can't work with people that would do something like that. WTF. Imagine how his interview for the next job went. Interviewer: so why did you leave your most recent position? Puking guy: gimme a spoon and $1,000 and I'll show you. A woman with no pants on running out of my friend's bedroom shouting too much dick. No, this wasn't Podrick. And since I've heard that several times now, can someone please tell me who that is? Thank you. Also, no, he only had one dick. I have seen it. He was not exactly shy about it. To quote one of our favorite stories about having gone to his cabin for a summer, we came downstairs to find him wearing nothing but a pillow and a smile. The pillow was under his head. Achievement unlocked. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, but distinctly remember being in the basement at a house party playing a game where everyone ends up naked. Door busted open and I'm looking at the boots of the town sheriff yelling for his daughter. Oh shit, she can't find her pants. Help me find my PAAANTS. Went to a topless party in college. As in a party where guys and girls were shirtless. After doing a jello shot off of a stranger's boobs, I told my friends a few doors down about the party. They arrived just as most of the girls went into a back room to get high, and a big bearded man decided to show off his Jacob's ladder by making it a bottomless party. My friends didn't trust me for a while after that. Walked in on the host's parents going at it. Can't be unseen. At a party a couple of years ago, I witnessed a grown-ass adult who was currently attending university drop a turd in a plant pot in the host's living room. He was just in the corner squatting over a plant pot thinking nobody would notice. A cast party for the theater department at my university led to an orgy: 4 guys, 5 girls. That's a good ratio.